You and a friend walking along the pavement before you feel a pain in your side. You look up at your friend and they say, "You okay, man?" And you, of course, respond, "Yeah, just a little pain," right before you fall to the ground. That's what having a kidney stone feels like. But think about the trip to the ER, where a doctor criticizes your diet. What song would play in that scenario? Oasis? Soundgarden? Savage Garden? Probably something more somber. This song is exactly what came to my mind when that happened. That exact incident happened to me when I was with my friends at a ski resort in Gran Culo Montagna, Wisconsin. I'll be the first to admit, I was never into electric music. But for some reason, this song managed to worm its way into my brain. Perhaps it's because of the image that brought along stereotypes of children's music filled with tambourines, bells, and high-pitched voices. These stereotypes which are completely betrayed just 5 seconds in when you hear the high production synth with a delicious reverb that brought back feelings of the 80s. Just when you think it couldn't get better, another 5 seconds in, you'll be greeted by these angelic vocals which I assume belong to these children. It's a bit grating to listen to. It feels like they have no style, no substance, no grace. They aren't even on beat. They sound like they're sedated. But the more I listened to it, the more I realized that was the point of the song from the start. It's really no secret why this song has been redone in so many languages, like English with Asian kids, English with cartoon kids, and it even spawned competition by other companies hoping to cash in on the pizza craze. It even has an entire subreddit dedicated to sharing ideas and concepts found in the song. The song fools you into belittling it by carefully crafting a track that seems, on the surface, to be mediocre or even terrible, which is extremely hard to do when you think about it. Every beat and instrument has to be off just by a tiny margin to create a composition that balances on the edge of quality. Being manipulated by adults is one thing, but these are kids. It's even harder to believe that kids wrote this when you pay attention to the next part. The lyrics. The lyrics are just... I really want to gush, but I'm gonna hold myself back, okay? Just listen to it.
We like pizza in the morning. We like pizza every day. We like pizza in the evening. We like pizza anyway.
You notice it goes, we like pizza in the morning. We like pizza every day. We like pizza in the evening. We like pizza anyway. This is a literary device known as repetition, which is the repeating of a word or phrase so that it embeds itself in the listener's mind. It isn't just any repetition, it's specifically anaphoric, which is repeating the first part of a clause or stanza. It is one of the oldest types of repetition known in recorded history, as it dates back to as old as the Bible, with songs and hymns repeating words such as "Oh God," "Oh man," and "Oh no." The fact that this song uses such an ancient literary device shows that they actually know their stuff. Casual listeners might be shocked, but people who are deep into poetry might notice something special just on their first listen. This is not to mention the fact that they use repetition in two ways. First, communicating the political themes, and second, representing the passage of time. Morning and evening represent breakfast and dinner. This shows that they actually do enjoy pizza all the time and every day, as they eat it for both morning and evening, breakfast and dinner. But you'll notice something's missing. What happened to lunch? We'll get to that in a minute. Now, before we leave this part of the song, I want you to pay attention to the last part. We like pizza anyway. Now, what does that even mean? What does anyway mean? Do they mean any way, as in they like their pizza in any way, any form, any occasion, and any time? Deep dish, New York, Italian, Greek, and even frozen? Or did they mean any way, as in they were about to go on with a sentence before being cut off? I'm more on the anyway camp, though I've spoken to a few people who have brought up good arguments for the other team. But I just can't help but feel gripped by that vagueness. It's a genius move. It helps expand upon the mysteries surrounding the actual themes of the song by leaving the answer up to your own subjective imagination. By the way, did I mention that one of these themes revolves around the anti-Italian sentiment of the late 18th century? If it wasn't obvious at this point, pizzas don't just mean pizzas in this song, it symbolizes the social prejudices that Italians had to suffer through. If you don't believe, then listen to this part of the song.
I like pizza, pepperoni, mozzarella and anchovy. I like pizza with salami, eggs and cheese and oregano. I like pizza with tomato.
That short silence at the end speaks volumes. They mention all sorts of Italian ingredients, so why do they seem so afraid of tomatoes? It's literally the main ingredient of pizzas. Well, it wasn't always that way. Quick history lesson. Back in the 1800s, pizza was first made with tomatoes due to poverty in areas around Nepal's Italy. Tomatoes were thought to be poisonous by most Europeans, as they belonged to the nightshade family, which contained many members which are toxic to the human, such as the black nightshade. Before that, pizza-like dishes were often only made with cheese and flat bread, basically white pizzas. Imagine being so poor that you eat something poisonous in hopes that you don't die. That's why the two voices went, I like pizza with blah 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 blah, but then became quietly judgmental when someone said they only liked pizza with tomatoes. That was what the poor in Naples ate, and most Europeans did not like the poor. There is something to be said about the link between poverty and tomatoes even in our current society, but I digress. Here's the interesting part. Notice how the song is actually echoing two talking points. The first being voices singing in unison, and the other individuals simply stating what they liked. They represent understanding and ignorance.
I like pizza.
They said it I, not we, I, as in the letter I, as in meaning myself. That ties into this last bit. Listen closely to this part.
I like pizza with tomato. I like pizza.
A voice of a distant child suddenly disappearing mid-sentence, almost as if silenced by an unseen force. Looking back at history, the political sphere, the Italians, this part simply entails too much to put in one video. The number of theories as to what this part means is more than I can count on one hand, so to save time I'm going to go with my own personal favorite. I believe this is the voice of the pro-Italians. This part does not pop up in the first stanza of the song. It only appears in the second. The stanza after the first, the second stanza. The first time we hear the line, I like pizza with tomatoes, we get an uncomfortable, ear-popping silence. However, the second time, we're greeted with a voice about to join in before being snuffed out. More and more people are standing up against the iron cage of discrimination. Linking back to the passage of time with morning and evening, we realize that this is symbolizing the passing of an era. The world is moving into the next century. Tragically, the song represents the new era accurately, as history reminds us that Italians still suffered social prejudice deep into the 19th century. Poverty tomatoes are poisonous, not to your health but to your morals. It is infectious. It hurts our goal of global unification. It's really not every day that you get something that manages to combine today's society with a powerful reminder of the bleak and often depressing journey that a group of people had to go through to get this dish onto your table. Even as I wrap up production on this video, I still go to sleep with this song bouncing off the walls of my mind as I tried to wrap my head around such a blend of intoxicating elements. The only thing I know for sure is one thing: don't judge a book by its cover. Life happens every day. It happens every second. And we live in those seconds as they become moments. We like food. We like pizza every day.